Walter E. Massey, black physicist. A respected physicist, Walter E. Massey has had an extensive career as an educator, administrator, and researcher. He was also nominated by President George Bush to be director of the National Science Foundation and became the second African American to hold this spot. In the early 1990s, after his tenure as the director of the National Science Foundation, he accepted an appointment as senior vice president for academic affairs and provost at the University of California. Since 1995, he has served as the ninth president of the historically black Morehouse College. Massey also distinguished himself during his directorship of Argonne National Laboratory. Walter Eugene Massey was born in Hattiesburg, Mississippi on April 5, 1938. His parents were Almer and Essie Nelson Massey. He became interested in mathematics early in his childhood, and in an interview for Scientific American, he explained that, quote, there was just something about sitting down and working through problems, unquote, that intrigued him. Massey attended the Royal Street High School in Hattiesburg, but left at the end of the 10th grade to accept a scholarship at Morehouse College in Atlanta, one of the premier black colleges in the nation. His early departure from high school meant that he entered Morehouse with no background in advanced mathematics, physics, or chemistry. As a result, he became discouraged during his first few weeks at Morehouse and wanted to return home. Massey's mother insisted that he remain, however, and 4 years later he graduated with a bachelor's degree in physics. Massey credits physicist Sabinus H. Christensen for his survival at Morehouse. Since he was the only physics major in his class at Morehouse, Massey received one-on-one tutorials from Christensen in many of his courses. Massey stayed at Morehouse as an instructor for 1 year after graduation, and then enrolled as a graduate student in physics at Washington University in St. Louis. Again, he was fortunate enough to encounter a concerned and inspired teacher, the theoretical physicist Eugene Feinberg. Quote, if Feinberg had not taken extraordinary care, unquote, Massey told Scientific American, quote, I would have quit, unquote. Instead, he remained at Washington to complete his doctoral degree in physics in 1966. Massey's research interest had included solid-state theory, study of properties of solid material, and theories of quantum liquids and solids. While still a graduate student, he studied the behavior of both solid and liquid helium, the solid and liquid helium-3 and helium-4, publishing a series of papers on this work in the early 1970s. Massey began his professional career as a research fellow at the Argonne National Laboratory in Batavia, Illinois in 1966. Over the next 2 years, he became a staff physicist, and soon thereafter, he was appointed assistant professor of physics at the University of Illinois. But he stayed at this post only a year before moving to Brown University as associate professor of physics. He was promoted to full professor in 1975 and named dean of the college in the same year. Massey's best-known accomplishment at Brown was his development of the Inner City Teachers of Science program, a program for the improvement of science instruction in inner-city schools. He was awarded the American Association for the Advancement of Science's Distinguished Service Citation for his development of ICTOS. In 1979, the University of Chicago invited Massey to become professor of physics and director of the Argonne National Laboratory, which the university operates for the U.S. Department of Energy. The latter appointment was a particular challenge, since the concept of national laboratories financed by federal tax funds was very much in question at the time. Massey made a concerted effort to see that argon research was made more readily available to private industry. And because of this, Charles E. Till, head of engineering research at Argonne, has credited Massey for the survival of the research facility. During his tenure at Brown, Massey's administrative adaptiveness led him to become involved in activities such as the Physics Review Committee of the National Academy of Sciences National Research Council from 1972 to 1975, the advisory panel of the Division of Physics for the National Science Foundation from 1975 to 1977, and the Advisory Committee on Eastern Europe and the USSR of the National Science Foundation from 1973 to 1976. He also served on the National Science Board, the policy-making arm of the National Science Foundation, from 1978 to 1984. In the fall of 1990, Massey was chosen by President George Bush to head the National Science Foundation, a position he held until 1993, when he was offered the post of Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of California. The New York Times reported that Massey had hoped to complete his 6-year term at NSF, but he said that the California offer, quote, an opportunity that I cannot pass up, unquote. Massey was only in California 2 years when he took the position of president at Morehouse College, the prestigious black all-male liberal arts college. The return to his alma mater demonstrated Massey's commitment to education, and specifically his commitment to providing educational opportunity to black students. Massey has received honorary degrees from a number of institutions, including Lake Forest College, Williams College, Elmhurst College, Atlanta University, Rutgers University, Marquette University, Boston College, as well as Morehouse College. He also served on the board of directors of the American Association for the Advancement of Science from 1981 to 1985, and was elected the organization's president in 1988. Massey has also been appointed to the board of directors of various corporations, including Motorola and the Chicago Tribune Company. He married Shirley Streeter in 1969. The Masseys have 2 sons, Keith Anthony and Eric Eugene. Massey lists his hobbies as sailing, skiing, tennis, and jogging. Citations are in the description.